Good morning, welcome to a morning review on Tuesday the 13th of January. This is Kim Watson speaking for Easy Trader. Okay, looking at the pound dollar first, and as you can see yesterday we put a bit of a doji in there, or certainly a clear doji in there yesterday. Ran up this morning, run back up, double topped, and have run into the daily 8 moving average. This could signify a bit of a change of direction. Yesterday we got our moves, we got all the targets hit on the different currencies I was looking at, they all got hit. Today's a little bit more messy. We've got this sort of wedge pattern which I've also drawn on the, actually I've drawn a different version of it, slightly more aggressive version on the hourly, but we've got this sort of wedge pattern going on here. Generally we would expect from a wedge, if it sort of starts breaking down to this side, further downside. Of course, the question over a wedge is when is it finished, and it's not actually finished until you see the breakdown. So at the moment it remains erring towards the sort of bullish side from where it is. I have got, as I say, a slightly different pattern here on the hourly, which I'll show you in a moment. But if that's broken, well, perhaps I'll be a little bit more aggressive, and as I say, look for the bearish side to go with a bigger trend, which is really still down, or certainly down on the dailies. It's much clearer. But we've got this sort of intermediate retracement now. You could still want to go back up towards the 50 MA, maybe further. So a break of the highs there would be looking a little bit more bullish, although bearing in mind that we could quickly run into some sort of resistance. That said, that resistance has been hit before, so maybe hit and passed. Okay, looking at shorter time frame, then just come down to a 60-minute chart there, and as you can see, I've drawn, as I say, drawn the wedge on a bit tighter here, and they're the real key areas I'm looking in the short term for this morning's trading. I will, once that hourly's finished, put the bottom of that trend line on the current bar, but really looking potentially at the breaks of those lows. Maybe then target wise would be prior lows, and maybe even it back down towards yesterday's lows, the previous days, certainly the S1. Okay, that's the pound. We have got the CPI figure coming out this morning at 9:30. That might just be enough to kick it into some sort of create some movement, should I say, some volatility. Looking at the euro, Euro's not too distant. We've got a bit more of a hanging man as opposed to a doji in yesterday's candle. We hadn't quite got up to the daily 8 yet. It's again a similar pattern. There's I've already drawn it here on the hourly chart there. So really, again, looking for the shorts on the lower side. If it breaks this consolidation, or looking towards the long side on the break of the ups now upside. Now I need a break, and then I'll be looking for a setup, one of our normal setups from there. Downside, well, same sort of thing really at the moment in terms of targets. Well, yesterday's lows are pretty good, running towards the S1 there. If it breaks to the downside, so it'd be obvious initial target at least. Right, looking then at the dollar yen. Start off top side. Okay, dollar yen is moved back to its daily 50, just ran through that a little bit, but sort of bounced yesterday. Again, doji, graveyard doji yesterday. So again, this is on all these markets. There's a certain amount of suggestion that we may get a reversal, but of course we've got to wait for the price action itself. So looking at the 60-minute chart, I've already drawn the trend line in there. If it does continue to the upside here, I need a break of this sort of level. Otherwise, well, there is the possibility of continuation. Just putting this sort of pivot swing candle in at the moment. A break perhaps of the hourly 8, may see a continuation really to the downside, but just need to see everything get into position for that, and I may be looking short wise, but it has put a series of lower highs, lower lows, just with this one here slightly, but not quite on that one there. But there's indecision within these markets at the moment. Finally, let's have a look at the Aussie dollar. No surprises there, similar-ish picture. Yesterday it couldn't hang on to its gains. With most of the other currencies, they retraced in the afternoon. This held on to its losses. Had run into the 4 hourly 200 yesterday, really good sell-off from there. Now it's it's bounced on the 4 hourly 50, but now it's coming back towards that gain at the moment. So looking at the shorter time frame here, similar picture. If we start getting pushing get above this trend line, I'd be looking maybe to see if we can get back up and actually touch that monthly pivot that's up there. It'd be a good target. Likewise, if we break these lows here, well, we'll be back on for yesterday's lows, the Asian session low, and maybe even looking back down towards the daily S1 down here at 8107. So that's it for today. But as I say, at the moment the market's a bit indecisive. Hopefully we'll see some price action very shortly, and it'll give us the clue to the direction for today. Have a great one. Bye for now.